SureDog.com here with featherweight contender Cub Swanson ahead of his showdown in UFC Fight Night San Antonio with Jeremy Stephens. Maybe a little bit of championship mojo going down at the AT&T Center, having taken place where the San Antonio Spurs just clinched an NBA title. Any good thoughts, good karma thoughts on that?
Oh, definitely. I was fortunate enough to go down to San Antonio, and they brought me to a game, and we were, doing all kinds of media to hype the fight. And I got to see the arena, I got to see the whole place full, and I got to do a little skit with the mascot. I got to meet cheerleaders, and just getting the vibe from the crowd there. You could see that they're a big sports town, and they love boxing, they love MMA. So I was happy to see that they won the title, and I'm hoping that they keep that coming and they come back and watch the fight.
And we talked to you a few months ago. You were still in limbo waiting for a fight. You know, you'd had plenty of time to work on your golf game and all of that. Almost a year off by the time you step into the octagon. But where were you when you got the news, and what was your reaction when you found out you're facing Jeremy Stephens?
Well, we had been going back and forth with them for a while, and I had known for a while. They just wouldn't give me a definite answer, and they kept waiting for things to play out. So it was kind of an ongoing conversation. So it wasn't like, oh, okay, that's who I'm fighting. So it really was like I said, an ongoing thing.
Almost, as you were making your rise in your five-fight winning streak, Jeremy Stephens wasn't a guy that was necessarily in that conversation. He was a guy that was at lightweight, kind of making his mark there. Now he's kind of experienced a resurgence. Have you followed him a little bit, and what was your impression of his appearances so far? Most recently, Darren Elkins.
Well, anytime somebody drops down from a weight class to a new weight class, it's a fresh start. And them already having a big name, and he's fought everybody at 55, all the big names, and he's got wins and losses, but he hung with the best of them. So then he dropped down to 45. He's 3-0, so you really can't argue with it. And I've seen his fights. I know what he brings to the table. I know he's dangerous, but it's nothing that I don't feel like I can't deal with.
Obviously, you're not thinking about doing that right now, but was that ever something you contemplated, whether it was moving down or up?
Yeah, when I had my jaw wired shut, I lost a lot of weight, drinking all my meals. And I kept saying, I'm going to drop 35. Screw it. These guys have been throwing me around. And everyone told me I couldn't do it. So it just made me want to do it even more. And I got down to naturally like 150 pounds. And I remember thinking, man, my cardio's good. And the first time somebody kind of like wrapped their arms around me and tried to wrestle me a little bit, I was like, oh my God, I'm tired. And I realized that probably wasn't the smartest move for me. So I decided after that, and you know what, 45 is the weight class for me, but I need to be bigger. So from then on, I figured out how to be bigger and not lose my speed at the same time. And so, like I said, I thought about it. I had a game plan going into it with my coaches, and we figured it out.
Recent interview Jeremy Stephens did, I believe, with Fox Sports. He said that he has a distinct advantage as far as punching power, knockout power. What's your assessment of that matchup in terms of knockout ability?
I think when he does knock people out, he's right. He hits hard. No arguing that, but I'm not that easy to hit. And if we want to compare knockouts, whether I TKO people or knock them out, a win's a win, and I think I've done it to better opponents.
5-round fighter. A lot of people may not be expecting to go the full 5 rounds, but how do you feel about potentially going 25 minutes?
I'm not thinking about it. I think early in my camp, I thought about it a lot more, and I kind of trained, 12 weeks out so that I could, have basically a bigger gas tank in the long run. And now that I'm getting closer, I'm not worried about it. I'm worried about getting in there and performing from the first round, and I'm going to take it one round at a time. I know I'm fully capable of going 5-5s, but I feel like the more I worry about it, it's just going to make it worse for me because it's pointless. If it goes 5-5s, it goes 5-5s. If it doesn't, sweet.
Is there anything, I know you don't want to give too much away, but is there anything in your mind you can pinpoint that will kind of determine the direction this fight goes?
Really, this is one that this is the most well-rounded I've felt in a long time. So honestly, I'm trying to keep a clear head and just go out there and fight. My number one concern is always putting on a great performance above anything else. above trying to steal a win or anything. I'm a performer. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna try to put on a great fight.
Switching gears a little bit, World Cup is going on. You were an accomplished soccer player. Before we get into it, just let people know just how accomplished you were, those that might not know.
I didn't really get some of the opportunities I'd like, which a lot of people in my hometown, there's so much talent in the Palm Springs area athletically, and we never really made it out of there. But I played junior college, at like 17. I was on the beginning stages of the junior Olympic trials, but I broke my leg. And so, having bumps in the road has always been my thing. So after that, I kind of stopped playing soccer because I had to get a job and pay bills and stuff like that. I moved out on my own at 17. So after a couple years, I knew I needed something, and I found martial arts, and that really changed my life.
When you're watching Team USA, maybe beating Ghana or what have you, do you ever think about maybe like a little bit of a what if scenario?
Yeah, I mean, maybe about 4 years ago, I was thinking, hey, maybe I bet if I dedicated a year to getting good, I could make it on the MLS team. Just knowing that I'm a great athlete, and with my determination, I'm positive I could do it. Sorry, that's loud. um, but then I just really wanted to focus on one thing and be great at one thing. So I turned all my attention, back to MMA.
And we'll get you out on this one in closing. I mean, you read a lot of different stories about Cub Swanson, and as you've progressed in your career, a lot of it focuses on the mental as much as the physical. Just kind of detail, the difference where Cub Swanson was mentally earlier in his career to where Cub Swanson, featherweight title contender, maybe number one contender, is right now.
Just I was always questioning my abilities, and then when you're overtraining, you have good days and bad days, and then not trusting that the bad days are just because you're tired and not because you suck all of a sudden, and just those inconsistencies I think aren't good for the mental state. And then having so many bumps in the road, I felt like I could never catch my rhythm. I mean, I broke my hands 8 times. I had the surgery on my face. I've just gone through so much that I never felt like I could get a running start. And finally, I just was like, whatever. I stopped caring about certain things, and I just started enjoying myself and enjoying what I do, and just trust that I'm great no matter what happens.